to the Great R.E.M, or the Réseau Express Métropolitain. This 67-mile light metro system out of Montreal has been touted by many transit advocates as the best rail transit project to come in the recent years. This system not only improved Montreal's already vast transit network, but transformed many commuters' habits, driving them from automobiles, and thus drastically reducing the amount of cars on the road, and decreasing the city's reputation for congestion. Although not sounding similar on scale, Kansas City has a shocking amount of similarities to this infamous Canadian city prior to the R.E.M's completion. This includes gradually increasing congestion from suburban commuters, a fairly bus-centric transit network, and a generally insane car dependency. Based on these facts and my own personal experience as someone raised in the KC Metro, I would think it incredibly fitting if we had an identical system to that of the R.E.M. In fact, what if I designed it myself? As part of Classy Wales' Build a R.E.M. contest, I have planned and put out a design for a system intended to be nearly identical to that of the R.E.M., which I call RideKC MaxRail. In this video, I will present the design standards, route, and how it integrates into Kansas City's larger transportation network. Firstly, a few prerequisites. First, the system must have nearly identical length, coverage, rights-of-way, number of stations, and infrastructure reuse as the system in Montreal, as it applies to Kansas City, in order to get similar results. 2. It must utilize the same rolling stock, trains, that being Alstom-made light metro vehicles called the Metropolis series. It must also have similar service patterns in order that performance is not compromised. 3. It must efficiently interface with already existing transit, which in Kansas City is primarily buses, as stated earlier, and a respectable one-line streetcar. By these standards, I believe that I have created a concept that fully embodies these principles. And without any further ado, allons-y! KC MaxRail spans a total of 46 miles, 74.5 kilometers, serving both the Kansas and Missouri sides of the metro through the counties of Platte, Clay, Jackson, Wyandotte, and Johnson. The name is meant to complement and expand on the branding of a particular rapid transit service outside of the regular RideKC/RideJoco buses and the streetcar, that being the MAX Bus Rapid Transit System, with MAX standing for Metro Area Express. The system consists of 21 stations, mainly park and rides, stations primarily made for suburban commuters, along its 3 branches, the KCMO A1, Strang A2, and South OP A3. Like the Montreal counterpart, it utilizes the Alstom Metropolis Saint Laurent light metro vehicles, which operate on trackage situated near pre-existing rail rights-of-way, highway medians, and industrial corridors. In Johnson County specifically, the rough alignment of a former interurban railway was utilized, the Kansas-Missouri Electric Railway, or the Strang Line, in order to best serve the densest areas. Contrary to popular belief, Kansas City has many geographically diverse areas, which is why the system, in addition, is almost entirely elevated. Each branch runs on separate service patterns, the rate at which trains arrive, with the A1 branch running at peak 2.5-minute frequencies and 5-minute frequencies off-peak, the A2 branch at 4.5-minute peak and 10-minute off-peak frequencies, and the A3 branch with a consistent 1.5-minute frequency. MaxRail starts at Kansas City International Airport, the station replacing what would have otherwise been an empty plot of land, being connected to the main terminal via an automated people mover or shuttle bus. It would also house the system's rail yard, much like the terminal station at Bazard on the R.E.M., again utilizing the vast space nearby. Leaving the airport, trains would enter the median of I-29 heading south, passing swaths of currently unutilized suburban land, before reaching Zona Rosa, an outdoor mixed-use shopping center, and its corresponding station. Zona Rosa, which first opened in 2004, has experienced a steady decline in foot traffic over the past few years, for more reasons than one, including a lack of innovation. By providing a reliable transit connection and dense housing developments, MaxRail will be able to breathe life into a place with good bones. Continuing further, it stops briefly in the suburbs of Parkville and Riverfront, which are both park and rides because of the land use surrounding them being fairly low density, with Riverfront having planned TOD replacing an expanse of surface parking, then proceeding towards North Kansas City. Industrial North KC lies just north of the Missouri River, with a population of just under 4,500 as of the 2025 census. Despite its currently small population, North KC has become home to many new businesses out of the vast industrial buildings, helping increase demand and driving popularity across the metro for the multitudes of local bars and attractions. The MaxRail station for North Kansas City, specifically, would be within walking distance of the Rabbit Hole, a 3-story children's museum dedicated to teaching the young through the cultural and literary traditions of the world. North Kansas City is also a strategic location, due to the Kansas City streetcar possibly getting extended to there in the near future, an extension dubbed as North Rail. With that being said, the system continues, crossing the Missouri River into Kansas City proper, and encountering a sea of highway overpasses until reaching East Village Station, which is situated only a block from East Village Transit Center, making transfers to city buses like the Max Truce and Prospect Bus Rapid Transit lines quick and easy. After leaving East Village, trains would then exit the medians of I-29 and I-70 to parallel freight right-of-way owned by the Kansas City Terminal Railroad and BNSF south of downtown, before reaching Union Station. Kansas City Union Station first opened in 1914, serving as the replacement for the Union Depot in the West Bottoms, which had been consumed by the Second Great Kansas City Flood in 1903. The station, this time being built on higher ground and in the Beaux-Arts architectural style, invokes a sense of civic grandeur, both for Kansas Cityans then and now. Today it houses mainly restaurants, retail, and event spaces, with a science museum extending from the side where the majority of train platforms used to be. And to this day, Amtrak operates here, directly connecting riders of MaxRail to the Southwest Chief and Missouri River Runner routes. In addition, the KC streetcar runs directly next to the station with its corresponding stop, which runs north towards Riverfront and south towards the University of Missouri-Kansas City, making Union Station an ideal transfer hub for 3 forms of rail transportation. Departing Union Station, the Strang A2 branch begins, with trains entering the I-35 median for 1.6 miles, 2.5 kilometers, before entering into Kansas at State Line Station, which is actually half in Missouri and half in Kansas, and will serve a historical center to this area. The I-35 median continues to serve trains until Mission Road, from which trains deviate and serve Rosedale. Rosedale was, in Kansas City's heyday, a prominent streetcar suburb, directly being connected to KC via interurban streetcars, a sort of proto-regional rail connecting a city's suburban enclaves. Today, it doesn't serve too much purpose outside of housing the University of Kansas Medical Center, or KU Med for short. Rosedale Station is only a mere 8-minute walk or 14-minute bus ride from this major hospital, where the 39 bus also terminates, which runs at peak 20-minute headways on the popular 39th Street corridor. The trackage continues through a currently thick wooded area, briefly re-entering the median of I-35 before paralleling Rowe Boulevard to serve Roland Park. Like Rosedale, what is now the city of Roland Park was a development known as Southridge, built off the Strang Line Interurban, which I will go over in more detail in a bit. However, this area quickly grew during the post-World War II era, with many of its houses being built in the decade directly following it, making it part of the first generation of suburbia as we know it. Continuing for a short time down Rowe Boulevard, trains pull into the Mission Station on the corner of Rowe and Shawnee Mission Parkway, on top of the infamous Mission Gateway site, along with the addition of mixed-use infill on both it and surrounding plots. The choice of this site might stand out to many of the folks watching from the Kansas City area, as the property has sat famously undeveloped for years, with an unfinished parking structure and a set of concrete pillars being all that remains of one of the most recent attempts to redevelop. Seriously, guys, it has been too long. The troubled site was once home to the Mission Mall, which after closing in 2005 sat barren, with redevelopment plans being axed with COVID, and as of 3 years ago, the plot was foreclosed. Besides the redevelopment of the site, the station would add to the already expanding catalog of dense developments in the suburb of Mission, arguably one of the fastest growing dense suburbs in the metro. Most importantly, Mission Station would also be directly connected with Mission Transit Center, which is a single block away, connecting riders to Johnson County buses, which are likewise part of the KCATA, the regional authority which also oversees the buses on the Missouri side. Leaving Mission, elevated trackage enters the median of Shawnee Mission Parkway, a suburban arterial which, in this section, is merged with US Highway 56. Trackage then exits off onto the side of Metcalf Avenue in the southeastern corner of Mission, running mainly on the side of the road for 2 miles before reaching downtown Overland Park, including this unassuming stone building. In reality, this was the original car barn of the Strang Line Interurban. Why is it here in Overland Park? Well, Overland Park was built for the Strang Line. The founder of the Strang Line, William Strang, founded Overland Park as sort of a suburb for the common man. At that point, suburbs have only been built for people of higher classes, and he envisioned it as sort of an egalitarian society with the Strang Line at the center connecting people to downtown Kansas City, making this transit-oriented development-oriented transit.
A TOD that was already there. Therefore, is the R.E.M. transit-oriented development-oriented transit?
From OP's downtown, trackage moves via back streets towards Santa Fe Drive, soon merging onto 87th Street to serve the area near Central Resource Library, a slew of townhomes, and the Strang Park, which is named after the aforementioned Strang Line, and even has a piece of the trackage. Keep in mind, this is trying to follow the alignment of the interurban as closely as possible. Continuing down 87th Street, the trackage of the main branch then briefly parallels US Highway 69 to 95th Street, while the South OP branch starts. This branch continues off the 69, first making a stop at 103rd Street, replacing surface lots and part of a mid-century strip mall. In addition, dense high-rises should be developed here as well. Taking a sharp turn on 69, trackage merges onto I-435 loop once again, though briefly, as it exits onto Quivira Road towards Johnson County Community College, the terminus of this branch. The amenities of the station include a new transit center, with several bus bays, which is needed since JCCC is a transfer point for several buses, including the 510K10 connector to Lawrence, Kansas, among others. Returning to the main branch, it goes on to serve the Oak Park district, which includes the still surprisingly popular Oak Park Mall and assorted other shopping outlets, plus housing. From here, the route exits into the median of I-35 South, going under the I-435 interchange before shifting to parallel freight right-of-way, which also parallels the interstate. The next station at College Boulevard replaces an empty plot with a shiny station and some parking, making this an ideal park and ride along a popular suburban road. Following down, trains serve 119th Street with its respective station, replacing surface parking at a main event. This stop is near a Bass Pro Shop and assorted chain stores, with more development yet to come. By reaching this far south, MaxRail essentially replaces the 520 Strang Line Express bus, which currently runs from 121st Terrace and Strang Line Road to the downtown Kansas City Loop. Continuing down freight right-of-way, trains pass many swaths of light industrial and distribution centers until crossing over just south of the Pepsi warehouse to once again parallel Santa Fe for a short time. Now we have reached the second to last station, Mahaffey, which is just north of downtown Olathe and Olathe North High School, and situated next to the Olathe Community Center and Mahaffey Stagecoach Stop Farm, which is a notable attraction in the area. A few empty lots, a multitude of mid-century duplexes, and several strip malls also surround this station, which can be converted into higher density housing, perhaps townhomes or more traditional duplexes, matching the area's overall character and providing much needed missing middle housing. Making its way down to the final station, we pass the edge of Olathe's historic street grid near downtown, along with some industrial facilities, before finally arriving at Olathe South, the southern terminus and home to the second yard/facility. Directly south of this site lies low-quality apartments, which can be redeveloped into dense 5/1s and townhomes. In summary, Kansas City MaxRail threads through some of the highest demand and densest areas in the metro, from the airport to the dense core of Kansas City, and to the older suburbs of Johnson County to create an uninterrupted connection. MaxRail, this concept of what the Kansas City area could do with the R.E.M's framework, is not merely meant as a project, but a vision of how people can alternatively get around Missouri's largest city. By targeting popular corridors and pre-existing rights-of-way like Interstate 35, RideKC MaxRail is more than capable of competing with the car as traffic in the metro steadily increases without sustainable transit alternatives. The route, by targeting both fledgling and established population centers, offers a wide range of flexibility in terms of housing and communities, making sure that everyone has a right to be connected. Lastly, by interfacing with Kansas City's tolerable and vast bus network, with routes like Troost Max Bus Rapid Transit and the 39, last-mile trips will almost cease to be an inconvenience, granting larger amounts of accessibility. Overall, MaxRail projects an image of Kansas City so removed from the one of today through transportation, it forces KC to reform itself. For reformation is, in the words of the philosopher G.K. Chesterton, going back. Thank you all for watching. Hey everybody, just wanted to say thanks for watching. I'm really trying to expand my channel right now, so like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. See you guys in the next one. Ciao.